history's original heavy metal, unearthed from a dark underworld and processed by an arsenal of machinery. 18 pounds will start your car, and a tiny particle will unlock secrets of the past. It protects, but also poisons, and it's key to making majestic music. Now, the untold story of lead on Modern Marvels. There's a good reason the world produces nearly 4 million tons of lead every year. We find it just as useful as our ancient ancestors did, who revered it as the mother of all metals. Today, over 600 million drivers around the world depend on it every time they turn their ignition keys. An astounding 80% all lead we use ends up in lead-acid batteries. The battery under your hood consists of cells containing lead plates. Each plate is comprised of a lead grid and a lead oxide paste coating it. The plates, half of them positively charged, the other half negatively charged, sit in a bath of sulfuric acid. The acid causes a chemical reaction in the lead, creating electric current. To reduce manufacture costs, most car battery makers use recycled lead and lead alloys that contain hardeners like calcium for grids. These substances contain impurities that make the lead corrode faster in its harsh acid environment, which eventually cause the battery to fail. Enersys Energy Products in Winsburg, Missouri makes a longer-lasting, more reliable battery, and the secret ingredient is virtually pure lead.
This is 99.99% pure lead. From here to the end of this row represents 1 truckload of lead. So this is 2,500 pounds right here. You don't get very much on a truckload.
Enersys pure lead batteries are designed to provide ultimate dependability, the kind hospitals and communication network use during power outages. The company also makes one you can put into your hood, called Odyssey Battery. The pure lead, however, is just one reason why it's cut above. The lead plates made here are just over 1 millimeter thick, up to 5 times thinner than those in conventional car batteries. A thinner plate allows Enersys to fit more plates into each cell, and that can make a huge difference.
More plates mean more surface area. More surface area on plates means it's able to deliver more energy faster, and that means more reliability in starting a vehicle.
The plate making process begins with 1-ton block of lead called sows.
These cells will be transferred into our melting pot at 500 degrees C, and then the melted lead will be used to form battery grid.
Once molten lead hits this rotating drum, which is slightly cooler than its relatively low melting point of 621 degrees Fahrenheit, it quickly solidifies. Reel after reel, each holding 1,700 feet of lead weight in line, for the punch will form the grid.
The material here is passing through a reciprocating die, which punch holes at about 500 strokes in it. Come out the other end at a clean punch grid. If it didn't have holes, there'd be no room for the active material.
The active material, the lead oxide paste that will coat each grid, is applied further down the production line.
So paste is being dropped from the pasters, which are above us. They're coming through this tube system. They're being applied to the grid so that you have a layer of grid with a layer of paste on top of it. It then goes into the roller where a sheet of pasting paper is applied. The purpose of the pasting paper is to prevent the lead from becoming airborne later on as the plates start to dry and the lead oxide becomes a powder.
Next, the plates are cut, weighed, and flattened. Then, after curing several hours, they're encapsulated into individual battery cells. But still more lead is necessary to complete them. Robots dip each cell into a shallow pool of molten lead. There, tabs protruding from each plate fit to steel molds. Within 15 seconds, the molten lead solidifies. This lead connects each plate to the next, ensuring the electric current can pass between them. Finally, the cells are welded together into a single battery. Machines inject the sulfuric acid, and battery receives its first charge.
The high reliability batteries that we provide, even though they do cost a little more, it does increase the reliability of your vehicle.
Centuries before we were getting char out of lead, ancient civilizations recognized its value and versatility. From roofing material over the gardens of Babylon to facial cosmetics of Egyptian pharaohs, Chinese coins to the top on Gutenberg revolutionary printing press, lead has aided our existence for nearly 6,000 years. But it was Roman engineers first used lead on a grand scale. Took advantage of one of lead's key properties, its malleability, by shipping it into an intricate network of pipes that delivered water to the imperial capital. The vast plumbing system inspired the Romans' Latin name for lead, plumbum, which is why lead's atomic symbol is Pb. Lead had another property the Romans exploited to make drinking wine more pleasurable, despite the fact that many even then knew lead's toxicity.
I cringe when I think about this, is they used to make wine sweeter. Romans would boil wine in lead vessels. The lead would form a compound called lead acetate, and that has a sweet flavor.
Some historians believe that drinking lead-sweetened wine and water flowing through lead pipes may so debilitate the Romans that it contributed to the empire's fall.
The reason why it was suspected that lead could have had an impact on the decline of the Roman Empire was that there was so much lead around at the time. In fact, there was so much limestone in water that the lead pipe would have been coated with limestone inside. So the amount of lead therein wouldn't have been enough to expose them to so much lead that their reproductive systems would fail completely, or they would have gone completely mad. So there wasn't enough lead to go around Rome to make the empire fall.
While lead poisoning may not have wiped down an empire, potentially deadly neurotoxin poses no lead threat today. If you ingest or inhale lead, most pass from your body within a few weeks. Your body takes some of it for calcium, a vital mineral nutrient, and stores it in your bones. Whenever the bones release calcium into the blood, responding to your body's needs, the lead joins it and can make its way to any of your organs. The most vulnerable of all is your brain.
When lead gets into your brain, it keeps calcium from doing its job, helping your nerves function properly. That causes brain damage and damage to the rest of the nervous system as well.
Although lead in high enough doses can do irreparable harm, it can also protect you from a dose of another kind. Light Tech Incorporated near Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, produces lead aprons, the kind wear whenever you have an X-ray. Lead high density and low cost made it the ideal apron material for decades.
There are many different styles of apron. This is perhaps the simplest one. This is a frontal protection only. This might have 6.5 pounds of lead powder in it. When we get into higher exposures, either for time reasons or because the energy of the beam is much higher, particularly in cardiology or cardiac catheterization, we're into a two-sided apron, front and back. This apron would have about 12 pounds of lead in it.
Light Tech apron contains much 85% lead powder. The remainder consists of a variety of plastics that make the aprons flexible. The proprietary mixing process takes 20 minutes.
This is a sheeting line which is converting the mixed material into a sheet, very thin sheet, a very controlled sheet. The material is, this case, is about 15 thousandths of an inch. That is to make it heavy enough to stop the radiation, but light enough so it's not too heavy for the doctor to wear. And one batch of 240 pounds for the mixer will make approximately 2 rolls. These rolls weigh about 120 pounds.
Quality control supervisors cut out and weigh samples taken from the beginning and end of each roll.
We don't want it to be too thin where it doesn't protect. We also don't want it to be too thick where it's heavy.
In Light Tech's sewing room, workers stack the sheets up to 4 layers thick, depending on the level of protection needed, and cut to size.
Lead is soft. It's a lot easier to just cut through like that. It slides right through. It's kind of like a knife through butter.
Finally, they stitch the lead into vinyl coverings, and another lead apron is ready for your next X-ray exam. But what precisely happened to those X-rays when they hit the lead?
They can actually come in with like a pinball machine. They bounce off the lead atom, use energy, and then pinball another atom of lead, and use energy again until the edge is dissipated, and there's no change in the lead.
Before lead make its way in the X-ray room, or under our hood, we got to extract from a dark world 1,000 feet underground. In 2005, Department of Energy researchers examining bone fragments of Ludwig von Beethoven determined that chronic abdominal pain, irritability, depression, and death were caused by lead poisoning. Outside the tiny town of Viburnum, Missouri, it's another day at the office for Clay McNeil. Except the only way to get there is this elevator shaft. Each morning, he descends 1,000 feet below the Earth's surface to mine lead. Brushy Creek Mine, operated by the Doe Run Company, is one of 6 lead mines hidden far beneath southeastern Missouri's Ozark Mountain region. Over the past 5 decades, miners have carved out this vast underworld, tapping one of the largest deposits of lead ore on Earth. Doe Run Company mines extract about 6 million tons of lead ore every year.
Most people think that we mine straight lead, and it's not necessarily the case. We mine gold.
The main ore of lead is galena, lead sulfide. It's made up of about 87% lead, the rest is sulfur.
The formation of this deposit began more than 500 million years ago. Missouri was under an ocean featuring a porous tropical reef. Over time, the ocean waters receded, the Earth's crust drifted, and mountain formed over the exposed reef. As warm groundwater migrated towards the mountains, picked minerals, including galena, and deposited them in the countless pores in the reef.
And it looks just like this when it's in the ground, in the post rock.
The lead mining process begins as hydraulic drill bore blast holes 14 feet deep into the ore face. A steady stream of water forces loosened rock from holes. After 2 hours, 65 precisely faced holes complete. Most blast holes are about 2 inches diameter. But in the center of the face, the drills bore large holes to leave room for the exploding rock to expand.
The rock has to have more to break. It would kind of be like blowing up a balloon in a coffee can. There's really nowhere for the rock to go, so we'll usually drill 3 larger size holes in the center, right dead center.
Clay's crew loads each hole with explosives containing the appropriate time delay blasting cap. Blasting caps are numbered according with their time delay. Increase outward from the center and detonate in a rapid-fire sequence. It will force a rock cascade towards the center of the face. Once the area is clear of miners and machinery, Clay initiates his safety fuse and had 2 minutes to retreat to a safe distance. A half-mile behind him, lead locked in place for 300 million years, about to be blasted free. When the dust settles, miners enter the blasted area and scrape any loose rock from the walls. One blast creates 500 tons of rubble, 5% of which is lead. 2 hours later, a second crew moves in, with heavy machinery to haul it away. Lead in this form poses little threat to the miners, since it hasn't a chance to react with the atmosphere. It's considered to have low bioavailability, which means the body doesn't easily absorb it. But as a precaution, go-run miners are required to have a blood lead test once a year. Elsewhere in the mine, a separate hauling process is already in motion, with one big difference. The load scooping up the ore is unmanned, controlled remotely by a miner. The remote system is a safety precaution. The rock being blasted here is a lead-bearing pillar left behind decades earlier to help support the mine ceiling. The Doron company is targeting pillars because the mine's overall resources are decreasing.
Once a pillar shot out, the ground becomes slightly unstable. The remote man uses a remote control to move the loader around to scoop to pick up to dump it in the truck. What that does is it keeps the man out of harm's way.
Once the ore is removed, the area is permanently vacated. And after it's crushed, the ore ascends to the surface in buckets called skips, 9 tons at a time. Then it's up to Doron's mill to get the lead out.
The job here in the mill is to take the ore that comes from underground. It typically runs about 5% lead. We process that and produce a concentrate that has about 80% lead in it.
After undergoing further crushing here, the ore fragments enter these rotating cylinders. Inside, tumble with 8-ton steel rods, 3 inches in diameter, which pulverize them.
This is where we add water, so from this point on, the ore goes through the mill as a slurry. We also add chemicals for the flotation process. This is lead flotation, sir.
In the flotation tank, both chemical and physical process occur. Chemical latch onto the lead minerals, and air bubbles introduced into the tank flip the bond particles to the surface.
So what we see here is lead mineral floating over the side of the flotation machine.
That's right, you're actually seeing this heavy metal float. At this point, the lead concentrate is diluted with about 8% water by weight. Large vacuum filters suck most of the water away, resulting in a concentrate 93% solid. On average, 60% of the concentrate produced at Doron's mining and milling operations makes its way by Kurt truck to the Sea of Herculaneum, location of Doron's primary salting facility. The other 4% is sold worldwide.
The primary purpose of the facility is to convert lead concentrate into lead metal.
Loaders kick off the process, transferring each truckload of lead concentrate to a rail car. Every 100-ton load enters the facility, where the first challenge is to remove whatever traces of sulfur remain. A furnace known as sinter machine burns off the sulfur with heated concentrate to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit. This converts the concentrate to lead oxide. In this form, it's more easily absorbed, so the workers here wear protective gear. The lead oxide moves to another furnace, where a mixture of carbon and oxygen generate a molten heat, 2500 degrees. This creates proper conditions to convert the lead oxide to metallic lead. After the refinements, the lead is now 99.99% pure. Molded form ingots weighing 60 pounds, 100 pounds, or 1 ton. Each year, a whopping 150,000 tons or more of lead emerges from Doron's refinery. Not all Earth's lead is laying around for just a few 100 million years like the ore mined here. Much of it began its life over 4 billion years ago as a different, unstable element.
Lead is the end product of radioactive decay. Uranium decays into lead. A lot of the radioactive elements decay into lead, and that's where a lot of our lead comes from.
It's that decay will allow scientists like Dr. Roland Mundell to use lead as a key to unlock secrets of Earth's past. By determining proportional amounts of uranium and lead within a rock sample, Dr. Mundell can calculate the sample's age.
Hourglass is a good analogy of what is happening with the uranium lead system or any isotopic system. In this case, if we consider the upper part of the hourglass being uranium and the lower part, the decay product, the lead, we can then precisely determine an age. So, for example, where we have a lot of uranium and very little lead accumulated, those would be relatively young ages. Where we have very little uranium left and a lot of lead accumulated, we would have very old ages. Uranium lead dating can help us understand processes in past, like the development of our climate, or evolutionary change, mass extinctions, and so forth.
This powder-rich volcanic rock sample from Australia. Determining its age will tell scientists precisely when a mass extinction occurred during the Earth's Permian period. The first step in dating is to isolate microscopic traces of lead and its unstable uranium parent. Magnets separate the granules that contain no lead.
What we are interested in is the non-magnetic friction right here, which contains tiny little amounts of zircon minerals.
Next, the lead-bearing mineral enter a solution that separates them from lighter minerals. The lead-bearing ones select at bottom. Most pristine of these isolated minerals seen here under a microscope will undergo crucial treatment.
Next step is adding a known amount of tracer solution, which contains artificial isotopes of uranium and lead. And in doing so, we can then later back calculate the ratio of uranium to lead in our sample.
Later in the process, the microscopic traces lead and uranium are loaded onto a turret, which then enters a device called a mass spectrometer. The machine determines precisely how much uranium and lead exist within the sample. This enables Dr. Mundell to determine the sample's age.
For this volcanic rock from Australia, we calculate a uranium lead age of roughly 259 million years with an uncertainty of ± 400,000 years.
Just as a few particles of lead can help us understand its past, it takes a little more to imperil our future. According to the Mineral Information Institute, today's average American will require 911 pounds of lead during their lifetime. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, 1 in every 4 American homes contains significant lead-based paint hazard. When the paint deteriorates, it frees chips and dust to contaminate everything in the area. As most risks are children.
A child under the age 6 exposed to lead absorbs it at twice the rate as an adult, and so it affects the nervous system and may be detrimental to their learning capabilities in the future.
This led a pigment team in Los Angeles, California, is among many nationwide addressing the problem. Its job is to remove the lead until 1978 was added to paint to reduce corrosion and as a pigment to increase brightness. The team target day is the house's exterior. The interior work will follow, but first a specialist must determine how much lead paint there contains. His X-ray fluorescence lead paint analyzer, or XRF, measures the milligrams of lead paint per square centimeter, even if several lead-free paint layers are covered. In Lake County, an XRF reading higher than 0.7 is considered a lead paint hazard.
Here we have a ceiling that's damaged. The paint is damaged. It's chipping, peeling, has some mold damage. The reading is 9.6. It has a significant amount of lead in it and should be treated. One of the major areas of concern for lead-based paint hazards are friction areas, such as window sashes running up against window jambs, window sills. That friction creates a fine dust that children can get their hands on, hands can get in the mouth, and they ingest lead that way. This one is not in the greatest shape, and and has a significant amount of lead in it.
Outside, the abatement team removes the lead paint in the house exterior using only water and scrapers.
We spray down to keep the dust particles down. We're not allowed to do any mechanical sanding because of the amount of dust that gets created. So pretty much everything has to be manually scraped on house like this.
Once the scraping is complete, a vacuum ducts up paint tips and dust for proper disposal. To contain the remaining lead paint that can't be scraped away, the crew sprays a special coating called encapsulant.
It bonds to the lead molecules. It has a 20-year lifespan, and it has something now called bittermouth in it. It gives it a bitter taste, so if a child wants to fight, finds a flake or has a bittermouth in it, it'll give them a sour aftertaste. The taste will probably stay with them for about 2-3 days, so they'll know not to eat that again.
Lead-based paint removal from houses is an ongoing effort, but a significant amount of lead still remains in our soil. And it didn't all come from deteriorating lead paint. Most of it spewed from our cars as exhaust, starting in the 1920s, when oil companies added to gasoline to help prevent engine knock. Gasoline in an internal combustion engine designed to ignite when the pistons complete their stroke at the top of the cylinders. but gasoline early engines often ignited prematurely, causing an audible knock or ping vibration and reduced efficiency. Adding a compound called tetraethyl lead to the gasoline solved the problem by helping the air-fuel mixture to burn more evenly. But it also released harmful lead particulates in the engine's exhaust.
50 years of lead was going into the atmosphere via tailpipes of our cars. So there was leaded gasoline sitting there on the blacktop, eating away, going, washing off in the next rainstorm into the water supply. Lead doesn't go away. It stays there. Since the 70s, when lead was outlawed as gasoline additive, lead levels in the blood of the American population have gone down 75%. Amazing.
Over the years, we've learned there's value not only in outlawing or disposing of lead, but also in recycling it. America recycles more than 1.2 million tons of lead per year at sites like Doe Run's Buick Resource Recycling Facility in Missouri. Every day, 50 truckloads of lead-bearing material arrive at the plant, from ammunition to pipes and weed weights, cathode ray tubes.
This is a CRT or cathode ray tube that might come from your computer or a TV screen. This is a 17-inch screen right here. It'll contain about 25 pounds of silica, about 2.5 pounds of lead. During the year, the recycling plant is going to feed to about 8.9 million pounds of CRT material and recover about 500,000 pounds of lead.
But this and the rest of the lead-bearing scrap accounts for only 15% of what's recycled here. You can probably guess what makes up the other 85%.
The majority of our feeds are batteries, lead-acid batteries. About 14 million of them this year.
The 18 pounds of lead in a typical car battery must be separated from the sulfuric acid in the battery case. Inside this bunker, a loader dumps spent batteries into a crusher. Its stainless steel teeth shred 30,000 batteries every day. Gallons upon gallons of acid collect onto the floor for later processing. At this point, chemical process is used to remove a majority of sulfur remaining in the lead. Chemicals added elsewhere in the facility will remove whatever traces later. Then those chemicals must be burned off in a furnace. The molten lead exiting the furnace still contains some impurities. So workers in the refinery follow a detailed process to remove this so-called dross.
We'll use chemicals such as sodium nitrate and sodium hydroxide to remove materials that we're able to oxidize out of the lead. Those materials will float to the top, then we'll use our overhead crane and our operators to manually remove the dross from the surface of the lead. Once we've removed the dross, we basically have pure lead alloy, which is ready in for further processing.
From the refinery, propane-fueled trail of fire keeps the lead in liquid form and feeds it to the casting area. Within seconds, heat and get solidifies.
This is an example of our 60-pound inline casting machine. This will be bundled in 2,000-pound bundles, then it'll be sent to our customer for final consumption.
Who knows? 1.2 million tons of lead recycled each year. A lead in your old computer monitor might end up starting your new car. But not all of our lead lives in industrial life. It has an artistic purpose as well. More than 97% lead-acid batteries are recycled, almost double that of the next most recycled products, aluminum cans, with only 55%. One of lead's most enduring applications is also its deadliest, the bullet. Most bullets made today are hard copper or brass jet covering a soft lead core. In bullets with hollow points, lead softness maximizes the bullet's stopping power. On impact, the metal jacket peels back, exposing the lead core, which mushrooms against the target. The earliest generations of bullets, spanning the 13th to 19th centuries, were simple lead balls. Lead's low melting point and its malleability enabled even the most isolated frontiersmen to easily cast them.
Lead's melted now. It's a bright silver color. It's normally just kind of a dull gray, but when it melts, it turns silver. So we're ready to mold a bullet. So we'll ladle out some molten lead, and we'll pour it into the mold. Wait a little bit for it to cool, and then open it up.
The only remaining step is to remove the ball from the mold and cut off the excess, called sprue.
After the sprue's cut off, you end up with a 5th caliber round ball that can be fired from a rifle.
Though easy to make, the round lead projectile had a key flaw. Its accuracy was severely limited, because within smooth-bore muskets that fired it, the ball bounced from side to side in the barrel. 19th century innovators improved lead projectiles by reshaping them into cone-shaped slugs, which traveled snugly through rifled gun barrels that gave bullets a spiral twist. This made them go straighter, farther, and faster, paving the way for today's version of hot lead. Environmental concerns have driven a recent innovation: lead-free green bullets with cores of tungsten, tin, or nylon. Surprisingly, the same utilitarian metal we use to make bullets also lends glass exceptional clarity. Lead crystal has been a sparkling dimension of lead since 1676.
In order to be called lead crystal, legally it has to have a minimum of 24% lead, and a maximum in most manufacturing processes is 33%.
With that much lead in a glass, how is it that the crystal comes so sparklingly transparent? Lead crystal is a combination of lead oxide and standard ingredients that comprise glass. When the mixture is heated to 2200 degrees, a chemical reaction weakens the bond between lead molecules, negating much of their pigment. But the lead still retains one of its most distinctive properties: an ability to refract light much more than conventional glass, lending lead crystal its increased brilliance. The addition of lead also increases the glass's density. But you won't notice the advantage this carries until it's time to make a toast.
One of the benefits of adding lead to the glass, it gives it a distinctive tone quality. So these are a beautiful pair of glasses, but these glass, and they're machine-made, they're regular glass, and when I tap them together, it gives a nice ringing, but a little tinny. Now these are hand-blown leaded glass crystal, and listen to the quality of the tone in this one. It's much deeper and longer.
Another of lead's properties, its pliability, makes lead crystal a softer and more cooperative medium for engravers.
As soon as I start to engrave this, I'll be able to feel how soft the lead is. I'll have much smoother cuts, and I'll be able to go much deeper than if it were just regular glass. The glass is much more brittle. Because of the brittleness of the glass, the drilling and engraving actually cracked the glass. Now, if this were made out of leaded glass, it never would have happened.
But lead crystal has one drawback. Over extended periods of time, the lead can leach into any liquid it contacts, especially acidic ones, like wine.
Now, the amount that are leached into your glass of wine when you pour it, you're consuming it during a meal, are really pretty negligible. However, you definitely do not want to be storing liquids that you're going to consume later.
Beyond that concern is the heavy price tag of a well-crafted piece of lead crystal.
I'm not sure if that's an advantage or a drawback. It's an advantage for me.
For more than 900 years, lead has played a role in another beautiful and delicate art form: stained glass. Within each intricate panel, the main glass pieces are held in place by a network of lead strips called cane. Lead's softness makes it the perfect form-fitting material, and its durability has helped some of history's most prized examples endure for centuries. The artists at Alpine Stained Glass Studio in San Diego, California, value lead just as much as their old world predecessors.
I don't know of any other metal that works as well for the purpose that we use it. We can form it, we can shape it, we can solder it. It's absolutely of ultimate value for a glass window.
The artist starts each project by tracing a full-scale version of the design over the projected image with smaller transparency. Among stained glass artists, these lines are known affectionately as the heart of lead. The cane begins a 6-foot strip of lead, molded with grooves into which the glass pieces will fit. These grooves come in a variety of shapes and sizes. The artist starts with the panel's corner, begins assembling inward. Let softness allow the artist to easily form a strip around each piece of glass. Solder secures the strip in place, and putty strengthens, weatherproofs, and polishes the final assembly. You might wonder, do these pieces of leaded art pose any health hazards?
I wouldn't suggest licking it or eating it, but as far as touching it or having it in your house, it's not going to be of any harm to anyone.
Lead is an integral part of wonders not only to the eye, but also to the ear. Any guesses where lead resides in the sweetest sounding organs? U.S. blood manufacturers use to 600 tons of lead per day. That's enough lead to make more than 65,000 car batteries, or over 5.5 million lead crystal wine glasses. For centuries, lead has unassumingly helped build the world with rich and resonant music. The Oregon St. Joseph's Cathedral in Hartford, Connecticut, has nearly 7,000 pipes, but only the largest are visible church doors. Most of the smaller pipes are hidden from view, and all of those contain lead.
There is no replacement for lead in an organ. You can't do it with aluminum. You can't cast them out of pottery. Organ pipes have always been and will continue to have own unique quality and sound.
Lead contributes to that unique sound with inherent pliability. It allows the pipes to vibrate as the air pushes through, producing richer, fuller tones. In a huge organ like St. Joseph's, the long pipes are typically made of zinc or tin. because zinc and tin are stronger and lighter than lead. Lead pipes this long can't support their own weight. Even the shorter lead pipe need an added measure of strength, so they contain 50 to 70% tin, a mixture called spotted metal that doesn't compromise lead's tonal qualities. The organ St. Joseph was built here in 1960 at Austin Organs in Hartford. The craftsmen have been using lead to make beautiful music since 1893. In the company furnace, lead and tin ingots melt at 750 degrees and mix together within minutes. Removing impurities is simply a matter of adding a little wax, which ignites a fire process called flushing.
Wax reacts with the metal and brings all the impurities that are left and metal to the top.
After skimming off the impurities, workers let the molten metal cool to about 450 degrees. Then they pour it into a trough and quickly run to the end of a stone table covered with lid. The sheet solidifies within seconds. As the sheet cools, lead separates from the tin, and spotted metal earns its name. After sheets cure for 2 months to reduce their springiness, workers use a special plane to adjust the thickness. The thicker the pipe, the deeper its pitch. The longer the pipe, the thicker the metal must be to support its weight. Workers complete the process by cutting the sheets to their prescribed lengths, rolling and beating them into shape, and joining the seam with solder. Then it's up to a head voicer, Dan King, to give each pipe its distinct voice. He does this by creating a slit, aptly called a mouth.
The metal has to vibrate to a certain extent sympathetically with the tone being generated by the wind blowing through the pipe. Tin lead composition has the advantage of being soft enough for the voicer to manipulate, to cut, tear the metal away, to adjust. Soft enough for that, but strong enough and responsive enough to make for good sounds.
The slightest adjustment to the mouth of the pipe affects its sound, because it is here that compressed air, the organ's breath, exits. By widening a hole at the foot of the pipe, it adjusts the speech of the pipe further, and also increases its volume.
So I'm speaking right a little soft, so make it a little bit louder.
A permanent set of tuned pipes on the back row of the voicing machine provides a reference pitch.
Pipe is flat.
He finishes his voicing work by trimming the pipe's length and adjusting its so-called tune call.
Activate that pipe and listen to it with the one in the front, and listen for beats to see if they're in or out tune. And that is roughly void.
Assemble the finely tuned voices of thousands of lead organ pipes, and music finds new definition to the term heavy metal. It's no pipe dream. The element, as harmful as it is helpful, will continue to surround us with its many dimensions.